This is Opal Pinnell. She has lived in Commerce for most of her adult life, but she was born in the Neylandville community and raised in the Neylandville community. Her parents were sharecroppers in Neylandville. She went to Neylandville schools, graduated from Neylandville High School, ended up um, after graduating from high school, decided she was very good with sports, and she wanted to be either a PE teacher or the equivalent. She was also very good with home ec, so she wanted to take college courses in home economics, which was very common at the time. Um, she ended up going to I'm pretty sure she went to Texas in Tyler. Remember that the state was still segregated at the time, and that access to college was limited to the black schools. And so she was, of course, very close to Commerce, but she wasn't allowed to attend Commerce. At one point in the early 50s, she ended up in Commerce, and I'm trying to remember what brought her here, but we do have a lot of oral history on her. She worked eventually at the campus in the cafeteria, and ended up eventually, again, that's my dog behind me. Stop that, Eddie, come on. She ended up working at the cafeteria for a long time, and then her husband worked on the grounds, and so they lived in the Norris community, which I'll talk more about at some point. But this was that was the area of the segregated South in Commerce, where our African American community lived and tended to business and so forth. So anyway, Opal Pinnell grew up in Neylandville, and it's important to know too, I think useful to know, as far as whether we are going to come up with projects that might emerge from Neylandville, that at a certain point, we're still, remember, talking about segregation. The black schools in Commerce were on the other side of the tracks, so the other side of a street, actually called Division Street still. And close to, in the early 50s, the schools began, or sometime right around then, the school that was functioning as the high school for the black community in Commerce was no longer available. I think it was not safe, and so there are different stories here. But anyway, if you were black and you graduated from high school in this area, you went to Neylandville. That's the school that educated the vast majority of the black population in the area. So these school reunions were big deals. That's important to know. And that people would bus from very far away. So the bus route matters. But you could read this history and some others, and I will show you a treasure trove of images to work with, and either tell the very early stage years of the school district establishment, or the town's establishment. Maybe look a little bit at later at the waning of this. Maybe we can tell a story of one of the members of the community. Look at some of the images that we have available. Maybe offer a video about some aspect of schooling here in Neylandville. Because even the origin story is fascinating. Uncle Jim, and we've got some direct quotes, and we need to trace the origin of these to see if maybe it would be worth bringing them in. But Uncle Jim Brigham, who had bought his own freedom and that of his wife Matilda and their youngest son, Little George, leaving 4 other children as slaves until the Civil War set them free. Uncle Jim was living in the eastern part of Hunt County. He was industrious and thrifty, saving the little money that came out his way until he accumulated enough to purchase his freedom. After the Civil War and the advent of emancipation, and other ex-slave families joined the Brigham to form the colony, the little settlement grew as any other small town.